You notice the fear, the mass hysteria like a week ago, Bitcoin tanking, bears kind of in full control for the short term at the very least, and now boredom. Bitcoin, what are you doing trading sideways? And I'm sure in a couple of days, excitement or more fear, Bitcoin just playing with our emotions. 2% away or so from a key upper trend line. Bitcoin is from a breakout with a target of around $11,000 out of this pattern. You can see it's in a descending channel, but as I said, Bitcoin playing with our emotions. You know, this is just a lower high in a series of lower highs. Tomorrow, we could be doing a video down here at $9,600 Bitcoin, talking about, well, what's next? So we have a clear channel on the screen. I'm sure there's other people talking about this. It's an obvious setup on Bitcoin. What I want to do is I want to speculate a little bit how this might play out for Bitcoin. Maybe we do hit this 2% to the upside targets. And the reason why we're looking at 2% or so is because this last swing high is around 2% higher than where Bitcoin's trading right now. First thing for Bitcoin, it has to break its previous lower high for anything significant to happen. And we know this green horizontal line right here, 10,500, huge resistance for Bitcoin. And currently it's like 2.5% away, I would say, from that area. Bitcoin's close to making a move, but Bitcoin's kind of boring right now, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. But again, zoom out on the charts and let's talk about what a move like that would look like. So I have some notes. Let's first talk about this, a higher low at the Fibonacci area. The Fibonacci area I'm referring to is our shoulder swing high of this inverse head and shoulder end of June to our previous swing low, $12,000 plus. This is what we're looking at, everybody. Bitcoin currently is seeing support at a very key retracement area, the 618 to 786, namely the 618 line. That's a good sign for Bitcoin in the short term. We're grappling with this very long-term yellow trend line extending to the last bull market. We'll see how that plays out. But Bitcoin currently getting a bounce off of this Fibonacci channel. That's number one. Now, if Bitcoin can manage to put in a higher low here, and this is what this would be, a higher low, right? Higher low from this previous swing low. We have a clear trend line here that I've marked. So if Bitcoin can do that, bouncing off of the support area, that would be huge. Now, secondly, if we take another Fibonacci retracement and we take our 12,400, 12,500 or so to our previous swing low, we have another area of potential resistance if Bitcoin makes a move to the upside. Currently 11,900 to around 11,500. So I'm just going to leave that there for a moment. Now, this could be, and I said swing high, this second point, to right shoulder. This could be a swing high to a right shoulder, meaning we see resistance and Bitcoin doesn't break through this Fibonacci retracement. We come back down. Bitcoin could be putting in kind of this upward sloping head and shoulders that you see on the screen, and that wouldn't be good for Bitcoin. And this could take some time for Bitcoin to play this out, right? We're talking this could take a month, 2 months, 3 months. So number one, have patience. Number two, this is speculative, but we've seen Bitcoin with these setups, right? So that's one setup. And then the next setup would be something like this, a symmetrical triangle. Now, if we keep this Fibonacci retracement right there for potential resistance, if Bitcoin makes a move to the upside, we come back down, right? Bitcoin puts in another higher low somewhere in this area. We might have this symmetrical triangle in play for Bitcoin with a breakout to the upside, finally entering the bull market. We're talking in the winter time sometime. This could all fall to pieces. This is speculative. Bitcoin could take off tomorrow. We could be entering the bull market. Bitcoin could be confirming bears and we can be entering a multi-month bear market in the next week, right? Things can happen very quickly, but don't always anticipate that it's going to. I know Bitcoin is very volatile and it can happen, but I always want to anticipate speculative setups because pretty much looking back at Bitcoin charts, it's pretty much most of the time what happens. These kind of drawn out patterns, like here's a symmetrical triangle, here's another symmetrical triangle, when all along in the middle of this, everybody's just waiting for some type of big move and it doesn't come, right? We have to be patient till we get a breakout out of the pattern, right? breakout out of the pattern. So we have to be patient for these things. But these are kind of some speculative scenarios if Bitcoin were to break to the upside of this current falling channel. The short-term target is around $11,000 right up here. The downside scenario, I should mention, first off, to the downside, we have lower trend line around 6 to 7% away, around $9,600. That's the first area of support if Bitcoin is to tank right now. You know, we're at 10,300 as I do the video. Bitcoin makes a move to the downside. What happens here at the lower trend line? Will it be just a lower low and Bitcoin bounces off of, and we're still tracking this channel, this falling channel? That's the first area of support. Breakout target if Bitcoin fails to see support here at the lower trend line is $9,000. And in a case where Bitcoin is testing $9,000, let me remove some drawings here because it's messy. $9,000 on this daily chart is right here around the 200 moving average. It's such an important area for Bitcoin to really hold, to stay above. You know, breaking this previous swing low end of June, not good at all, not bullish. This would just be a bearish confirmation if Bitcoin comes down here to the 200 moving average, breaks below $9,000. I know it's not what you want to hear, but simply put, it's a target out of this descending channel. Going over to the weekly, I want to point this out. If all else fails for the bulls, the most critical of all critical areas, and I mentioned this before, to watch is simply the 50-week moving average. If Bitcoin breaks that, we have kind of a different thing happening for Bitcoin that we haven't seen. We go off of historical data a lot. The consistency of Bitcoin, that wouldn't be consistent. We cannot really use this data to use when talking about consistencies, because I truly do not think this would have happened if there wasn't mass hysteria across the world because of COVID. And you can see how quickly Bitcoin got back above the 50 moving average. We saw support there. And who knows what would have happened with Bitcoin if COVID never happened, right? And same with traditional markets. So, but long story short, the 50 moving average is so important for Bitcoin. And we might be testing it if Bitcoin fails to kind of see a bullish breakout out of this falling channel and we see a bearish breakout. So these are kind of my speculative scenarios that I'm watching right now. And it really does all start on this chart, everybody. We're testing a key upper trend line right now. Is Bitcoin going to fail right now in the short term? We're going to start trickling down. Am I going to wake up tomorrow and we're back at 10,100, or are we going to break through tonight? Time will tell. It's why we track it. But I think more than just tracking it in real time and zooming in on these charts, it's good to zoom out and say, okay, if Bitcoin does break through this falling channel to the upside, what's ahead? What can we anticipate ahead? Because then we can start looking for real confirmations, right? So a real confirmation would be, hey, Bitcoin makes a break to the $11,000 area, breaks that 50 moving average on the daily. That is bullish, everyone. So we wait, time will tell. We have to be patient. I'm trying to hang with you through this, trying to do some daily videos as we track this thing. And, Bitcoin plays with our emotions a little bit. Let me know your thoughts below. I want to mention, everybody, I did pick a winner actually for the $50 Bitcoin giveaway. Preston, he said, watched it drop, closed the app, and went on with my day. Short-term moves are irrelevant in my long-term goal. I only invest what I'm willing to lose. Just a good approach. Just a really good approach. Don't even be affected by the short term, everybody. I know we cover the short term. It's just because we're all tracking it and watching it, but don't let it get to you. At the end of the day, don't spend more than you can afford to lose. So Preston, I sent that $50 Bitcoin to you probably like 20 minutes ago or so. So you should be getting that. Those are my thoughts for the day. Let me know your thoughts. If you're here not a subscriber, hit the subscribe, hit the like button on the way out. I appreciate you cruising through. Have a good rest of your night. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.